Hello YouTube. Today we're going to be watching a guy watch inappropriate stuff while on patrol.
And gets caught.
Whoops.
A Florida police officer is off the job after he crashed his patrol car while watching, let's just say, things he definitely should not have been watching at that time. Newly released body cam footage shows the deputy's reaction to the accident, and an internal investigation report shows he came clean before resigning. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. 28-year-old Tristan McComber was a deputy with the Lake County, Florida Sheriff's Office, and he apparently crashed his patrol vehicle into the back of another car that was stopped for a school bus. And after that, what did he do? He subsequently decided to quit instead of being fired. Now you might be saying, wait a second, Jesse, whoa, why would he quit? It's probably an accident, right? Why would he quit over this? You see, the fact that he crashed isn't the reason he was the subject of an internal investigation. No, it's because of what he was doing just before the accident. And to talk more about that, I'm going to bring in Alexis Rosenberg, trial attorney, federal litigator, to talk more about this. Thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before I get your reaction to all of this, I want to play a little bit of the body cam video. So the audio doesn't come in until just after McComber rear ends the car, but you can tell he has something in his right hand. And
What does he have in his right hand?
that looks like a phone.
Alright, let me see this one more time.
Something in his right hand, and that looks like a phone.
Can I get a better camera angle? I know y'all shows the fucking.
You can use Creston and County Road 435 would be involved.
He sounds so depressed, like calling, like, cause he knows like he just fucked up.
Single 16.
So this accident happened back in November in Sorrento, Florida, around 1:30 in the afternoon. Then Deputy McComber hit the other car hard enough to deploy his airbag, which of course would leave anybody disoriented, but he gets out of the patrol car and eventually reaches down to pick up again his phone from the floorboard.
Gosh darn it. Yeah, that sucked. Yeah, I'm good.
Damn, so you rear-ended another fucking car? Oh, that lady finna get paid.
Hello, ma'am. Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, it's locked up.
Okay.
You
I was like, oh my goodness, wait. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. You just want to pull
Yeah,
right
should we
here?
for more? Okay.
Just to make sure you're out of the turn lane.
Yeah.
And it was an old lady, boy.
Hear McComber say that his brakes locked up, seemingly blaming that for why he couldn't stop in time. And we don't know if the driver of that car was injured in any way, but she appeared to be conscious, alert when McComber was talking with her. So, Alexis, let me bring you in here. You know, what's your reaction to that video? First thoughts.
When you first look at the video, you're not really sure what he's grabbing for the movement. You really have to focus in on the video to see, as you mentioned, that there's a phone that he is grabbing for. So you don't know that he necessarily was doing anything for. So you don't know
HD. I can't really see. See what he's watching. Hold on.
Oh. So you don't know that he or that.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, he watching porn.
Oh yeah, he definitely watching.
He definitely watching porn.
Yeah. Okay. All right. At least we got that out the way.
Necessarily was doing anything inappropriate.
And we will get into what seemingly really did cause this crash, and oh boy, is it something. But before we get into that, you know, his reaction disoriented. He's relatively calm considering he knows he's at fault for what just happened, though, right?
Well, he knew what he was doing, even though it wasn't at first
Yeah, he knew
glance
what
so
he was
evident
doing.
in the video. But he definitely knew, which we later find out, that he was doing something inappropriate.
Burr was looking at something on his phone when he crashed. So what was he looking at? Well, let's start with this. So we got our hands on the internal report, which details how an investigator followed up with Macomber the day after the crash to ask him about the fact that you could see he was looking at something on his phone. It reads, quote, D.S. Macomber advised me that he was traveling behind the vehicle and had just finished a phone call with D.S. Hoffman. He went on to say that he was scrolling through text messages on his phone from a group text with his Sector 3 colleagues just prior to the crash. He stated he was not sending text messages when the crash occurred. After speaking with D.S. Macomber, I reviewed the videos again. D.S. Macomber's right hand comes down into view of the body-worn camera. You can see the screen of the cell phone. On the screen of the phone, you can see that D.S. Macomber is viewing a picture or a video at the time of the crash, and he was not scrolling through text messages. Upon further review, you can see D.S. Macomber exit the patrol vehicle at approximately, and it gives the timestamp there, and there is no
1:42.
evidence of him removing his seatbelt. He looks back into his patrol vehicle, and you can see the driver's seatbelt is latched and tied against the seat. It appears that the seatbelt was latched behind his back and not being utilized at the time of the crash. So then, the investigator follows up with Macomber's usual supervisor, who told him there were no videos or photographs in the group chat between him and the other Sector 3 members like Macomber.
Now, how you feel? Cause your wife gonna be looking at this, man.
He was looking at some sort of image. It wasn't the group chat.
She going
And they don't even know what exactly those images or image is as of yet. Now, as we wonder whether or not Mr. Macomber may need a great lawyer, let me tell you about Law and Crime's exclusive personal injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan, our great partner and sponsor. How many times in your career does one person say something, and yet the digital evidence, the body cam, the cell phone, it tells the true story of what's going on?
First, let's just say liar, liar, pants on fire. You would think he would know better. Also, he knows the policies and procedures, and he knows that if there's an accident in a police car, that they are going to go back, do an investigation, they're going to look at body cam, they're going to look at dashboard cam. I just don't even see how he thought he was going to get away with this. But, I mean, now that videos are so prevalent and that we have them so many times in court cases and investigations, workers' comp investigations, they're so prevalent, you should just assume they exist, because that is really going to speak volumes. If we didn't have that, nobody probably would have even suspected that this was anything but what he was saying.
Yeah, and talk to me about the violations, because my understanding is, even if he hadn't resigned, and we haven't even talked about what was on the phone yet, if he hadn't resigned, just the fact that he wasn't wearing the safety belt, was looking at something on his phone, was not being honest, that would have been grounds for him to be fired, right?
It would, but most police departments have a union, and there is a pretty long and in-depth
Hey, bitch, you know it's long your damn face. Get to the fucking point.
Copy of the Officer's Bill of Rights. On November 19th, this detective received a copy of the Sector 3 text group messages for the date of the crash. The group's text messages contain no memes or videos, again saying that he wasn't being honest about what he was looking at.
Looking at
November 20th, 2024, this detective met with D.S. McComber at the Office of Professional Standards to complete an interview. D.S. McComber was given time to review the case file prior to any questioning. D.S. McComber was read his administrative notification, and he agreed to tell the truth. Real quick, Alexis, this is all to show that he has his due process rights that are being adhered to, right? You know, he's been given notice, he's been given a copy. That's what this is all about, right?
Correct. They're following the procedure in order to be...
Crash, but he was on his personal phone.
You know, she kind of looks like a painter. She kind of looks like my art teacher, my old art teachers.
Got it. Okay, so now it goes on to say...
make a determination, terminate him appropriately.
Got it. For the vehicle crash, but he was on his personal
He stated pornographic material like boobs or whatnot.
phone after that phone call looking at inappropriate pictures. D.S. McComber was asked to clarify what he meant by inappropriate pictures, and he stated pornographic material like boobs or whatnot. It actually says that, like boobs or whatnot. D.S. McComber stated he was looking at images that contained nudity. Alexis, the cat's out of the bag. This member of law enforcement was allegedly looking at porn when he crashed the car. Does it get any worse than
how
that?
much did he get?
Yai. Another piggy fucked up.
Well, he was specifically looking at boobies while he crashed the car. I mean, there are so many things wrong with this. You know, he, like you mentioned, he doesn't have the seatbelt on. He's looking at porn. He's not paying attention. Ultimately, he hit. Hopefully, she wasn't hurt, but I'm assuming because the airbags deployed that there was.
He had just done, but D.S. McComber, quote, stated the information in his report concerning the ABS and traction control lights being on was more of a deflection than a genuine reason for the vehicle crash. D.S. McComber stated that he...
my boy, honestly, it happens to the best of us. I mean, if you're gonna look at boobies, shit. I mean, if you want to look at boobies, you gotta look at boobies.
He knew he had that body cam on, though.
Yeah, he did know that.
He know, because you have to.
He did know he had the body cam on.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like he wanted
So, like,
to
if I, like, me personally, if I wanted to look at boobies, I would hit the, and then, you know, just.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Or I could just set it in like a little cup holder thing. I know.
Right.
Like, nigga, you ain't gotta.
You ain't gotta be all up on that shit, you know what I mean?
Maybe he wanted to get caught. Maybe he wanted to get caught.
He
And
had
there
to.
had never
I
been
don't
a
know.
problem with the brakes before this incident. D.S. McComber advised he never tested his brakes prior to the vehicle crash that day, even though he had plenty of time and distance to do so before the vehicle crash. Alexis, what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that he decided at this point that he was going to be truthful when he was going down that road of lies. You know, I think that it's possible that there was some sort of talk or agreement that he would resign and admit to his wrongdoings. I just think for him
Gotta fix the double chin.
to come clean at this point, there may have been something else going on there.
And McComber, of course, knew he was being dishonest in his report because he told the investigator, D.S. McComber stated that he knew he was looking at inappropriate pictures, which was the leading cause of the crash, and he deliberately left that information out of his report. He stated that it's called lying by omission, and he further said he knows that one all too well. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but my gosh, what are we talking about here? And it says D.S.
This
McComber
nigga wanna clown his ass. I don't care what he
not
I
to
don't
be
care what
seatbelted
he says.
while on patrol. He stated that it has been his standard practice to not wear a seatbelt, but he knows he should do so according to policy and state statute. Alexis, by the way, talking about potential charges, could he be fined under Florida law for not wearing a seatbelt?
He could be fined for not wearing a seatbelt. Also, he could be charged with, you know, hindering an investigation because he was lying during an investigation, lying on, you know, public records under oath. If it was under oath when they were doing this investigation, I'm not quite sure. So there are things that he could possibly be charged with. The likelihood is that he most likely is not going to be charged with them, and it was part of the agreement having to do with him resigning. Now, that being said, in Florida, ultimately, it is the state attorney and not the
So all he did was resign. Nice.
police that determine whether
That was short YouTube video. I want to make it longer, but I just don't give a fuck. So bye bye YouTube.